Welcome to another episode of Dental Lab Insights, and I'm delighted to say we have Jill Swafford here with us today. She's the owner of Oaks Dental Labs in Pikeville, Tennessee. Jill, nice to see you. Thanks for coming in.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Ross.
You're very welcome. And to start off, I guess the really interesting part of your story is that you started your dental lab fairly recently. Could you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, it's been a crazy ride for the last year. In February of 2018 was whenever I was currently an office manager at a dental office, and we started having some challenges with the lab, and I assumed it was probably our fault because we had a newer doctor, and that prompted me to try to find out what was going on and started watching videos, and I realized how crowns were made now, which is very digitally. The analog ways were kind of on their way out, or at least fading some.
Yeah.
And the transition was happening, and that innovation shift was there, and it just reignited my spark. I was getting bored in dentistry. It had been about 14 years.
Yeah.
And so I told my husband one night, I was like, I think I want to open a dental lab. He was like, what's that? And that's what we did. So about a year and a half ago now.
Oh, fab. And what are the coming from dental practice, what are the main differences that you've noticed about working in the dental lab industry?
For sure. So like I said, 14 years in dentistry, I've been to plenty of events in dentistry, whether they're doctor-driven, team-driven, assistant or manager, all these different types of events. The thing that was in common was it was always so cutthroat almost. Like, I know that's a big word, but there wasn't a lot of, let me tell you how I got through that, or this is the product I use that makes a big difference for me, or there wasn't that kind of inside sharing that happened a lot.
Yeah.
It was a very competitive world. And when I came to the lab side, I expected it to be the same. I mean, we're in the same industry in respect to that, but when I got here, I was pleasantly surprised at how it is exactly opposite of that. The digital world means that we are all competitors. I can have clients in California, I can have clients in Great Britain, like it doesn't matter, but it's not just that local pickup and delivery anymore. So even though my client base is open to the entire world, country for sure, every person that I talk to is more than willing to help me. Has been more than willing to share their trade secrets and share their tips and answer their phone when I'm almost in tears because I don't know how to do this next step. And, all these things, they're just ready to drop what they're doing and say, let me help you get through it.
Yeah.
And that blew my mind.
Yeah.
They really genuinely want to see you succeed in this industry.
Interesting, yeah. And do you think the technology side of things, obviously we're at a point really for dental labs where digital disruption is really coming on apace. I mean, is that something that you recognised early, and you talk about support for what you do? Is that a big part of it, support for the technology? And
Absolutely. I mean, I couldn't do what I do. I could not have opened a business 5 years ago. It wasn't there to where it was so user-friendly, and the software and the hardware were there, and but now the shift is there and the trend is there, and it's one of those things that you're going to embrace and you're going to find how that's going to work for you, or you're going to be held back by it because there's fear there, or there's almost angst, that they're taking your business away.
Yeah.
And if you look at it in that light, you're going to have a negative outlook on everything you're doing. But I tend to look at this digital side as a way to really be so much closer with the doctors. We send things fast. I mean, quick. They send me an impression, and I can send it right back and say, hey, doc, re-prep this mesolingual. You missed a spot right here. They're happy to do it. Rescan it, done. The patient just saved 3 weeks turnaround time because I would have had to send it back. They would have had to call the patient back in. It's the best time that we've had in dentistry.
Yeah. So it gives you, I guess, tremendous competitive advantage against a more analog kind of approach in that sense.
Yes.
What are the other sort of challenges that kind of occur to you about setting up a business, a digital lab business?
Challenges were honestly just the investment. That's a big fear. I mean, I'm a mom and a wife, and we have a mortgage, and house payment. It's a big investment, you know, and so, but I also feel like if you make that investment, it pushes you to go all in. You know, once I've made that investment, I'm ready. Like, we're going to make this happen.
You're committed, I guess.
Committed.
Yeah.
Yes, and so it's like, I guess once I decided to let's do this, it really set me on a pace to not give up. You know?
That's great. And just finally, what sort of tips would you give to people who are thinking of doing what you've done and setting up their own lab business?
I would say that if I can do it in a tomato field in Pikeville, Tennessee, where we have no red lights, all we have is a 4-way stop. We don't have a Walmart. You know, we can do it in our part of the country, and it's not, I have nothing different than anyone else in this country. It's just you gotta want it. And there's so many educational avenues out there with our study groups and with the blogs just like this and podcasts and the networking and the summits that are available and the YouTube videos. I watched a lot of YouTube videos. You know, if you want it bad enough, the knowledge is there to help you get there. So just set your mind to it and don't settle. Dream big and go after it. All you can do is fail. Just stand back up and do it again.
Yeah, great. That's a really inspirational message, and thank you very much for your time. It's been really great to meet you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ross. I appreciate it.
And we'll be back with another episode of Dental Lab Insights soon.